The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged.
I've been writing about this stuff. I've been releasing Pete Peterson's briefings, telling you to have your 2 weeks of food and water in the house, that you're not going to be able to leave the house. And then Mega Anon shows up in 2017. It was in this article, right after the Vegas shootings, which happened in front of a pyramid and sphinx and obelisk in Las Vegas. It was a ritual shooting. It was a ritual sacrifice, unfortunately. The Vegas shootings prolonged what was about to be an imminent defeat of the cabal. Trump apparently was in the Mandalay Bay Hotel himself, meeting to get the final stages of this thing done, and they staged this crazy attack. Benjamin Fulford is an insider. He also has had a lot of disinformation, but on multiple occasions, Fulford has had intel that I personally could corroborate in many different ways. October 9th, 2017, where it said here, after the Las Vegas massacre and an Israeli ambush that killed 4 U.S. Special Forces troops in Niger, White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly summoned the Joint Chiefs of Staff and combatant commanders to the White House on October 5th to bring all hands on deck to back Trump against the NFL, Antifa, the deep state, and the cabal. The source continued by noting even NSA boss Admiral Mike Rogers and Pacific Commander-in-Chief Admiral Harry Harris were invited, as Trump said cryptically that this would be the calm before the storm. The storm, according to these briefings, would take place in the form of mass arrests, the issuance of a new currency, and the launch of a global currency reset. Mega Anon did give us personal briefings. As you now realize, they, as in her case, the deep state, they lost. America, and really the entire world, won. It is going to get ugly, but look alive. This will be your happening, and you'll never give a single F about North Korea again. Remember, North Korea was trying to blow us up with nukes. Tonight, Trump publicly confirmed what, candidly, we've all been working towards for the last 11 months. This is the alliance. She's in that group that later became what they call QAnon. I believe that. Everyone always asks me what I quote-unquote do. Well, there's a lot of us. Notice I highlighted that. And exactly what we do. This is what I call the alliance. We've all been working towards. We, the alliance, are going to show you what was intended for Las Vegas, how extreme it was supposed to be. A lot more people would have died if they'd gotten it the way they wanted to. Who had coordinated it and why they did. Stick with me though, I'm going to tell you exactly what I know. I have been on the ground in the hotel. I have accessed the shooter's room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel. She was there. I came home from Vegas Wednesday afternoon, but I got back tonight for another 4-day stint. Example, take all of those initial witness accounts and live interviews of people within the first 6 hours of 9/11. They reported additional explosions on random floors, flashes of lights, conflicting reports of what they were being told by first responders in terms of events and secured evacuation routes, unrelated fires on unimpacted floors, etc. Remember that? Remember the live CNN interview on World Trade Center 7 collapsing, which aired an hour and 23 minutes before the building actually went down? See, the mainstream media thought that by internally deleting the footage and never re-airing or commenting on it publicly again, they saved themselves. They underestimated the capabilities of the average person to download, privately store, re-upload, and mass distribute information once it's hit the internet. Mass info distribution platforms like social media, video streaming applications, public board forums like 4chan, etc., these people literally are floundering. Over the last 2 decades, they've realized they cannot dot every single I or cross every single T. The coming storm Trump is referring to is not Vegas itself. I confirm 100% that a much larger event was planned. Don't fall for the pandemic panic. I mean, do practice social distancing, but very few people, relatively speaking to Earth's population, will end up dying from this. Harvey was the first low-hanging takedown So just imagine how high level this will go. The MSM and public will only be given a few hours of notice on the day of each of a series of presidential addresses. They will not be given details or talking points in advance. The goal is that when it's all said and done, there will be no room for question when it comes to the people. No one ever again will have the ability to question who's responsible for, involved in, coordinating anything that has ever happened and been considered a conspiracy theory ever again. When the president is done, the entire world will just know it all. It really is that all-encompassing. Like he says, you'll see, it just has to happen. We cannot be derailed. She's part of this team. When the President of the United States formally announces he will be making an official presidential address to the American public, the networks have to cover and broadcast it, unedited, unfiltered, uncut, and in full, from the time he starts until he's left the podium. And given what's happened in the world, I didn't see this coming, but we were telling you to have your food and water stored, that you're going to be at home for a few weeks, maybe longer. You won't want to leave or be able to leave the house, and that during that time when nobody's looking, a lot of these people in the deep state would be arrested. This is what appears to be happening right now, hence the 38,000 troops in Europe with Defender Freedom 20. They're going into the Vatican, they're going into Switzerland, they're going into the city of London, and they're getting these guys. The only thing that everyone will be able to agree on when it's all said and done is that we've all been horrifically lied to on incomprehensible levels. The people think they're in charge? Ha! Well, now the president is going to give it to them. He's going to give us all the transparency we can handle, and when he does, that's when you'll truly see what we the people are made of. You'll have people who can't handle it, who are begging to give the truth back to the administration because it's so horrible. The pandemic thing appears to be the final move right before the deep state is defeated. They had to try to do something to sway it in their favor one last time. So she says here, all I will say is the wheels are in motion and have been. It's all teed up and ready to go. Keep your eyes peeled, ears open, and wait for it like everyone else. The plan has been under relentless attack ever since. They've done a whole lot of sealed indictments now. There's all this stuff that they've been doing. They've got thousands and thousands and thousands of indictments that they're going to unseal, one of which was the Harvard professor Charles Lieber and his work on this vaccine, which is actually the coronavirus apparently. The storm has now arrived.